Hello and welcome to another dose of 5 mechanical keyboard interest checks, the show in which I talk about interest checks that have intrigued me for the last week or two. If this is the kind of info that you find interesting, please consider subscribing and stay tuned till after the break. First up, we've got Cat Great Wave from Boba Sweat and Tears, IC'd in late December. This is basically a blue on white set with the blue gradient coming in from the left. It's inspired by the Great Wave of Kanagawa, a very popular Japanese woodblock print. As usual with most Cat sets, we've got a few kits starting off with several alpha variants like Latin, Katakana, Hiragana sublegends, and Katakana sublegends. And there are quite a few more here that you can browse through. But I did want to bring up the novelties as I think they're quite awesome. My favorite is perhaps the dragon on the ISO key, and at this point you're like, wait, Merlin, you're an ANSI user, not an ISO user. How could you say this? There are also several dust mats here, ranging from rather minimalistic, to dragon-based, to the very cute cat-based, and of course a dust mat with the original woodblock print. The last two are definitely my favorites. As this IC is still super fresh, no vendors or group by date has been mentioned. Out of all the high profiles I've tried, Cat is my favorite, and I'm happy to see a set in a colorway that I like. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I think the white colorway is starting to look overdone and common to me. The blue gradient adds just enough color to make this all interesting to me again. If you're looking for a good high profile key set, the MechMerlin verdict is strong consider. This is an interest check posted by Zionsped in late November. Zionsped is a photographer based in the Philippines, and this key set was inspired by a photo he took in Asakusa, Japan back in February of 2020. The colors chosen are all custom colors. He's provided Pantone, Hex, and RAL color codes. But if you actually look at each of those colors, they're all slightly different. Perhaps he just picked the closest colors, which makes me wonder which color he'll actually go with. If you're dealing with plastic colors, the best and most accurate is actually RAL. Zionsped proposes a base kit with most of the common layouts supported up to full size. There's a Latin alpha kit in mod colors. There's an alpha kit featuring Baybayin, which is the Philippines' oldest written script and the first time I've seen it on any GMK set. There's also a spacebar kit with an extra B, and last but not the least, Novelkeys greatly influenced by Michelangelo's The Creation. Each of these designs is inspired by the color choices of the base kit: earth, human, and water. Even though I was born and raised in Taiwan, I am Filipino and have spent most of my childhood holidays back home in the Philippines. So this set with Baybayin sublegends definitely drew my interest. Before then, I've really only seen this script on private group buys stemming from the Philippines, so I'm pretty happy to see this making an appearance outside that, and on GMK nonetheless. I really like the base colors in the set. It reminds me of a Triumph Adler with beigeish alphas. What I'm not a fan of, however, is the brown accent keys. It's only used for escape, enters, and a spacebar in the spacebar kit. It's almost as if the brown was thrown in just to fulfill the Earth theme. Don't get me wrong, I totally get picking colors to fill a theme, but I also think it's more important to make it look good so people actually will buy it. With that said, I think it would look good if the brown was used as mod legends and also as alpha legends. This would bring out not only the theme, but make the set more colorful. The MechMerlin verdict is consider. This is a VTuber inspired set proposed by Izeri in early December. Kits proposed are the base kit fitting pretty much the most common layouts up to full size. There are novelties featuring several tentacles, a Latin only alpha set, a 40% support kit, and spacebars. I don't really know who the VTuber is, so I don't vibe with this theme, which is probably why I don't understand the novelties or find them appealing in any way. It took me a while to realize this, and it took GMK Honor to show me. When it comes to alphas that have sublegends, I prefer icon mods over text mods. I think it may be because the sublegends start to make the key set feel too busy. Text on the modifiers make it seem even busier, so changing them to icons seems to bring balance to the busyness that I'm seeing. I'd love to see these get changed. As of now, there's no group by date set, but there are vendors listed. Looks like we got My Keyboard, Mex & Co, Desk Hero, TikTok, and Daily Clack. So hopefully we'll get a date soon. The MechMerlin verdict is consider. The Voice 65 was posted in mid-December by Owl Lab. This is a 65% made to commemorate the band Owl, which was apparently set up by the OP. The group buy actually already ran in China, way back in September, but they are now opening it up to the international community sometime in mid to late January. For a $320 65% board, you get ESD protection, gasket mounting, daughter boards, QMK VIA support, 6-degree typing angle, total weight of about 1.4 kilograms, hot swap or soldered PCB, and many more. But the main feature of this board is that scroll wheel. This might be the first custom board I've seen with the scroll wheel. Honestly, it's probably going to work pretty much like an encoder knob. If you haven't used your encoder knob any differently than a volume wheel, this is going to work just about the same. However, the key difference is that an encoder knob lets you turn left, right, lets you press it, but a scroll wheel will only let you go up or down. I do have to say one thing, as cool as that scroll wheel is, it does make the board look a tad bit cheap. I'm impressed by the PCB specs and they get lots of things right with it. However, what really drew me to this board is the RGB strip. I think I've been greatly influenced by the Grid 60's flash module. RGB in switch and underglow is nothing to write home about, but an RGB strip like this looks sexy. Actually, this vertical RGB strip has given me quite a few ideas. One is that in QMK there's a feature called Velocity. What this does is basically the faster you type, the faster your LEDs flicker. My idea is to modify this behavior and have the bar only light up the first 2 LEDs when you're typing like under 30 words per minute. And as you get closer to 100 or something, more LEDs will light up. I think it's a good idea, but if you guys have any other ideas on how to use this strip, please jot them down below. Anyway, I think this is a great board with lots of potential. The MechMerlin verdict is strong consider. The Magnet 65 was posted by SFT Stardust in late December and is inspired by a story of immigrating to Mars. It's called a magnet in reference to a man-made magnetic field which protects the Mars atmosphere from solar wind. At this point, there's no group by date or vendors announced as it is still so early in the interest check phase. This 65% board is roughly $400. It comes with gasket mount, 5.7 degree typing angle, hot swap, and Bluetooth support. But by now you're probably wondering, what in the world is that? Is that a USB port? No, it's not. It's actually the Bluetooth window so that the metal case doesn't interfere with the Bluetooth signals. They decided to go the extra mile and not just make it a simple acrylic piece, but rather make it have a fancy face with some lighting. A bit too extra if you ask me, but I do appreciate that it's such an eye-catcher. To match that Bluetooth window design, they've even got a similarly designed indicator LED. What's not clear though is whether or not this is one LED or a cluster of LEDs. It would be nice to have it display different things. Flip the board around and you've got your choice of different weight designs. Usually I find weight designs quite tacky, but these look fine. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. One thing that doesn't work with me, however, is this inscription in the back. Do not go gentle into the night. I had no idea what this was in reference to, so I had to Google it. It's a poem by Dylan Thomas, and that made me go, huh? After a little more digging, this is actually a poem recited in Interstellar. When it comes to making sense of this board's theme, there's a lot of dots to connect, which I don't appreciate. Unless you know the backstory of why it's called a magnet, you'd be perplexed to its name, like literally this board has no magnet, so why is it called a magnet, right? And if you don't know what the quote is in reference to, you'd be hard-pressed to even link it to space travel. However, all of that can be forgiven just by looking at the board. Because of these unique features, I'm willing to overlook these. The MechMerlin verdict is consider. Alright guys, thanks again for joining in. If you have any questions about these interest checks, make sure you check out the links down below. Alright guys, have a good start to your weekend and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye now.